Hi everybody, hope you're all well. Mindful Moodling will be starting in a few minutes. Well, you know how early I am. Anyway, just bear with me, the video's about to start soon. Thanks, bye. Hello. Well, I don't think we'll have anybody today, but never mind. I'm still going to do it because you may want to see it later. So today I'm going to look at paint and pencils. Okay, so paint and pencils. You might think, well, what's that about? Paint and pencils. Well, I'll be honest with you. We always tend to think that you can't use the two together, but you can. So you can. So on here, I'm just going to get some pencils out. I'm using my polychromos. I'm going to need some greens, but I'm just concentrating on the reds at the moment. Okay, so I've got some reds. I've got some paints. You can use any paint you want. I'm using my, well, I would use them if I knew where they were. The Faber-Castells. Where have I put them? Oh, I know where they are. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, where did I just put my paints? Oh, right in front of me. So, I've got my paints, I've got my pens. Let's see. I'm not too sure who's on, so I'll look at comments. Hello, Linda. Hi. Not many people around, but we'll still do it because that's what it's about, isn't it? There's one person watching, and that's you, Linda, and me makes two. So I'm just going to take this away for a minute, and I'm just going to go in with what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do, and I wanted to make sure it was right with everybody, is get an object. So we're just going to do one, maybe one. Okay, so this is a really good way of, sorting out what you're going to draw and how you're going to draw it. The lighting's great. I might see if I can get some better lighting. I think I like natural lighting. So I'm just going to put these here. I'm not going to mess about. We're going to draw them together. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a pencil that I can rub out. And I'm going to do some very simple lines. Okay. And I'm going to draw them up below what I've got here. So we're going to look at this one. And I'm just going to draw it. And I'm drawing from the picture rather than this, which you're seeing something totally different to what I am. So I'm going to draw what's on the screen. Right, so I could draw like that, or there we go. Okay. One. These are what we call studies. Two. Three. Okay. So that's one way. Hi, Sylvia. So that's one way of drawing them. And you might think, oh, that's cheating. Oh, it's not. It's using your mouse. Because where does it say you've got to draw everything by yourself? It doesn't say that anywhere. Right, so okay, so we've got this. So draw around it. That's not an issue. So here we've got this curly gig here. So I'm just going to draw around the shape. This one I quite like because it's got lots of lights on it and stuff, but that goes there. And then this one's really curly whirly. Can't remember how I had it. I mean, it doesn't really matter how you have it, you just redraw it. But, oh, like that. Got some nice lights on it. So I'm just going to draw that. Okay, so we're not going to do them all. We're going to do one. We're just going to do one or two. Now, I'm going to just move them out of the way because it's incredibly difficult to put detail in when you've got that in the way. So I'm looking for the shape that I want, which is that shape. I've got my chilli in front of me, and this is where I don't add or make it up. I just draw what I see. I'm not making anything up. I'm not trying to draw all that detail there. I'm just drawing what I see. Okay, so I'm happy with that, like that, and I'm happy. I like this one up here, and as you can see just a little bit more there. So you draw a little bit more, and then you can see this here which comes round, but you don't have to be perfect. You're just drawing it as a shape. And then you shouldn't ever move them once you've got them drawn, because if you want the light, then the light will change as you move it. So my answer to that is don't draw them, move them. So I quite like these. I quite like them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the highlight on. Like that. So here you can see I've got a big light that flashes down there. I've got a little light there and a little flash there and a big flash there. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just drawing the outline, okay? So I'll put this back, and then the light line or the highlight really does give the viewer the idea of it being a round subject. Now I can see another light a bit there. Okay, and these are all things that you need to see. So when you're looking at it, you can see these highlights appearing, and you really, really, really got your eye on it. I'm not going to use black, a thick colour. I'm going to go in now with, oh, that's way too big. Sorry. I'm going to go in with, I did have a 0.5, but you may not see that. We'll see what it looks like. If you can't see it, I'll change it. So here, I'm drawing it in one. Just drawing it in one. Don't be frightened of it. Don't be frightened of it. Here, I'm not going to put them on yet because I need to play around with them in a bit. But say we'll do another one, okay? We'll do this one. And the reason I'm doing it in one line is because peppers are quite smooth, aren't they? So they won't have lots of like lines on them. I'll do one in blue and a 5 and just show you what I mean. They haven't got lots of lines, so now the reason this looks different is because it was moved. So hence sorry about all the noise. So we've got our chilies. I'm going to bring this down a little bit for you, and I'm going to rub out the stuff we don't need. Now, I might choose not to do them all. Well, I can't do them all. But I'm just going to keep the lights, just for now. Just for now. You can be ruthless and get rid of all the lines, but then if you want to, you'd have to sort of bring it back and then redo the lines, which is not difficult to do. We'll do it together, eh? So I'm putting the lines on that you can see, not what I can see, okay? So being a bit generous there, knock that back. And there's a bit of a triangle there. I'm making it bigger. You see just there. I'm making it big because I can see more of it. But I'm happy with that. We've got quite a large area there, so that one. And then again, we'd put these on. So I can go around with my pen. And then I'm happy with that. Okay, so what do I do now? This is where it all starts to go. Oh, you can't do that yet. We're going to build underneath with colours. This is really important. You build the colours up. You don't try and one single layer. You put it all layers. So I can show you how we do this. So I have got, this is called the study page, okay? So what I would do is I would put in some of my colours. So my cadmiums, crimsons, you know, deep hue, high, we cadmium oranges to build up colour. And then you start looking, and we used to do a really good little trick with Mrs. Mokliak, where we used to have to draw, we used to get the image and get it colour matched straight next to it so you couldn't see a join. Loved doing that, really loved doing that. So I am just now looking at this and think, I need this red as well. Right, can you see? I need that red. Got it. So I am now looking at my, like that. So this is the bright red. And I'm just bringing the bright red round. And I'm not going too much into those spaces where the lights are. So then I'm going to bring in a little bit of the orange. Like that. Don't worry about this, because when you put your shadow on, oh, that'll be, you get a bit of shine of the red on the surface. If you've ever noticed that, it shines red there even though it's dark. So, and then I'm going to put in the magenta, and the magenta colour is really strong down here. So I'm not trying to paint it in yet. I'm not trying to say, oh, it looks like this. And if I was doing this, using my own sort of for my own work rather than, you know, live, I would write down the colours. I would get it all sorted. Oh, Linda, no, I'm not going. I'm gutted. No, I'm on TV here. It's a bit far, I must admit. I mean, I loved going to see everybody, and it was great seeing you, but no, I'm afraid not. So here I'm mixing some colours together, the two together, to darken that colour that hits the surface. So you carry on like that. I mean, that other one is slightly oranger. Can Can you see? So for this one, I would start with this orange one. And this is a studder. It's not meant to look perfectly like them. I know, gutted, Linda, gutted. So just bring that round, let that. This is a book from the pound shop, just seeing what it's like. So I would put some magenta in that as well, but I'm starting with an orange base. Okay, so you do that and you do that and you do that, and you've got a really good like study. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to what I did. Okay, so we've got this now, and this is what I did earlier because I don't want you to make your way. Now I can't remember how it was set up. I think it was the curly one, was it? There, yep, curly one there. Oh, curly one there, and that one at the back there, sort of like that. Now I'm seeing a lot deeper colours than you are, but that doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. I'm going to now take out all my reds and my dark reds and some burgundies. So I'll just show you. I'll get them in my hand first, and oranges, and basically you could have all them out if you wish. But I'm going to start. I'm going to probably do just one to help you. So we'll probably you see the light. You can't see the light there. It would have fit it like that. The light's changed slightly. Oh, we'll do that one. Right, okay. So now what I get is to start with a light orange, and I'm building up the colour. Now, before I start, let me any lines that you can rub out, because what you don't want is the pencil lines. Now if they're wet, the paper's wet, don't do this because you'll ruin your paper. But just try and get rid of any paper, any lines that are underneath, so any watercolor. And I'm just going to put a base of orange down. I'm just going to go over not too much. I don't want to obliterate the white. Because that it's actually not white, it's just the light on it, isn't it? And build up some colour. And I like to start with an orange underneath to give it a bit of warmth. Don't worry about me scratching all over. It's part of the deal with me. Start with another one now. So I'm going further up. So very lightly on it. Not what I'm not trying to do is fill it all the little teeth in the paper, because then I will not be able to add more at the end. And you can add, don't forget, you can add stuff over this as well, you know, paint over it again. You don't have to just leave it with pencils. If you've got a waxy pencil, it might be a little bit harder to put stuff over, but you can still add your colour to it. So I'm adding a very important lady in my life has just passed away, and I'm very sorry to hear it. It was Dame Pamela Coward. She was a lady that saw something in me that I didn't see, and she was my first head teacher. And I'll never forget how inspirational that lady was. Yeah, she's made a name for it. So yeah, it's very, very sad to hear that. Very elegant lady. So sad. But yeah, very, very privileged to have her in my life. So, oh yeah, Janice and her stamps, I know. I think she's with Clarity, isn't she? Or on the stand, I'm not too sure. Right, so I'm just adding some base colour. I'm going to put a little bit of the orange here. And if you're wondering what colours I've used, these are the colours I've started with. I think I've got a problem with I put it on high definition and I don't think my connection's high enough for it yet. So I'm just going to run in with some darker reds now just to give that. You really have to look. If I get time, I'll do more than one. So I'm building this one up. You get a bit distracted very easily, well I do. And I start adding colour to the other one. And you've got to tell yourself, stop and just do one. So I'm just laying down some of the darker colour. Right, this paper's had enough now, it's full. So I know I've got to go in with my pens, paint now. It's had enough with because I can feel it sort of starting to come up now a little bit. So here we're starting to really build up. I'll really see it's started to tear now a little bit. So you be very careful with it. You know, this isn't the best one in the world, and this is from the pound shop. But I don't really think it's meant to be doing all this. So I'm just going to see if I can lay down the fibres a little bit better, add a little bit darker colour. There we go. So we're starting to feel that. You start to see how that, and just to get the difference between those two sorted, if I put the darkness there. So what I'm going to do is go for a mid-tone now. And I'm going to go over the light bits very lightly, so that eventually I'm going to go back to the lightest colour, but still leave it red. I think I might go back to this here for this. And you might think, well, why has she done that? Well, if you can see, it's still made it look round, and I've still got that round shape. But what I've done is I've added more depth to it. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. Sorry about that, guys. These are the barefoot. Right. So I've got that there. I'm going to go back in with my paints now. Okay. So this is a little trick everyone is capable of. Everybody can do it. I'm going to go back now and I'm going to add some of the magenta on it. And the magenta hopefully will bring it alive. And you keep adding these to it. Now I might go in with a little bit more of, I think that's the purple. I have to be careful with purple because it's one of them tricky colours. So, oh, there we go. A bit more depth. I'll add a bit to this to bring that alive. So I've added pencil over paint and now paint over pencil as well. And you build up your studies learning like this. So we're going to go in with the orange. And I'm going to go in with the, see if the dark purple will. That's way too dark. So we need to bring it round. But now, so we've got one done. I'm going to go in with a cream. And this is a, I can't remember the name, but it's one of my favourites. It's, I think it's something like, oh, what's it called? It's got a real weird name. Oh, it'll come to me. So I'm just, where the highlights were, this is a rather big brush. I'm just going to bring in this. And I'm bringing the colour in. And now you can see how you've got the white back. Like that. And you're starting to see now how it's building up. And you do carry on like this. This is a study. It's not, I'm not saying that this is done by any shape or form. I'm saying that this is basically, I'm starting to do a little bit of a study of painting and pencil work, and then, you know, vice versa. So you start to add stuff that perhaps you wouldn't realise could go all together. So here I'm adding a little bit of colour to it. And this is a watercolour. It's not meant to be purposely, wonderfully accurate because I don't do that. But what I do is just give you an idea of how you can add depth to the work that you do quite easily with all the stuff you've got around, because, you know, we've all got a few pencils and we've all got paints, no doubt. You know, just make sure that, give yourself a bit of time and you can sort of add whatever you want to it. I'm going to add, that's not light enough for me. So I'm going to take my green. Sorry, I'm going to take my green, and I've got a lighter green here and a darker green on there, and I'm just going to go with what I've seen here. So it's quite light here. And it's quite a limey green in areas, but then a dark green in others. So I've got a massive brush, which isn't helping me much here, but I'm going to go in with, Yeah, this is a nice one. Mix with that one. So there we go. So we've put that on now, and it's starting to make it look a little bit more. And I also put that in the shadow. It's amazing how the shadows are made up of all sorts of colours. And this is a study in colour. And I like adding texture to it and stuff. So when that's dry, which I don't think it is, I'm trying to think of that. Is it Naples yellow? Naples yellow. That's the white I use. Naples yellow, believe it or not. Believe it or not. And then what I'm going to do is get, she says, if I can try. I did have one of my favourites here, and I thought I had it again, but it was actually not even what I wanted, but never mind. So I've got some acrylic. It was something else. It wasn't even what I wanted. I thought it was my Dr. White bleed proof, but it wasn't. So you can use white pens, and then a bit, you know, you don't need to take this off. You just need to do this with a paintbrush. So I'm just going to add in the middle of what I had, not copying it. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just seeing where it hit the lightest, because it has lights that they're bigger than the highlight, if that makes sense. So, you know, it'll be a light around the area, even though it's not all white. It'll be cream and then white. And then just, I can see it's got a few highlights on it. And then I can bring that in. Nice thing is you can then add colour over it if you think it's not strong enough. So again, if you want to, the white will go with the pencil, the watercolours, you'll get lots of tones adding up. So what we've used in this, it's only been half an hour, but I'm going to do another one before I go to work. So it'll probably be Friday afternoon, showing you how we can deal with that. So what we did the first one, and I'm going to put this to my Patreons, obviously, because they always come first with what I do. So we've done a study where we've drawn them into watercolour, and then we're putting some colour on the top. So it's a quick half-hour video that you can sort of play around with, do other fruits and veg, and just see how you know, how you like, what fruits you like. And I think these little learning steps are going to be great than trying to do like hours of videos. I think these will help you a lot. So join me on Friday, and we'll do the next half where we look at taking this further into other paints, inks and mediums. Okay, so I will see you for now. Take care, and I will see you for the next video on Friday. Take care.